Just, hi everyone!
Hi.
Welcome to Wednesdays with Whitney. I'm Whitney.
I'm Rachel.
And we are here today to tell you a little bit about Miss Rachel and her social media marketing strategies, business, and awesomeness. So, Rachel, would you give yourself a little introduction?
Yes, I'm Rachel. I am the owner of Rachel Peterson Social. I'm a social media guru.
That's true.
Whitney also likes to call me an organizational maven.
She organizes my whole life, and she gives me deadlines, and it's amazing.
I'd like to give a shout out to my mom for instilling that in me. So I manage social media for a lot of locally owned Des Moines businesses, and I also do social media tutorials. I completely take social media off of a business owner's plate.
And it's beautiful because any of you who are small business owners know that social media is literally an entire job. It is a whole beast. It's really how you put your brand out there in the world and how you put your work out there in the world. And I had thought a lot about that before I started my business. I knew that I wanted to have a very particular presence online. And I also didn't discount the fact that social media was so important. So when I started Ivory House, Facebook was all I had. I didn't have a marketing budget. I didn't even have clients. So as soon as I started having clients, that Facebook interaction was so important. So eventually, as you guys have seen, with the massive amount of shooting that I do, I can't keep up with that. So I started panicking a little bit, maybe a lot, and my Instagram feed stopped. And then out of nowhere, Rachel came into my life. Yes. So it was really one of those moments, and we were just discussing. I was like, I don't remember how we met.
Whitney and I had a lot of similar friends, I feel
Yes.
like, and I could think maybe 3 different people all at the same time were like, oh my gosh, Rachel and Whitney.
You need each other. You need each other so much.
And so thank you to the world.
Thank you
for
to the
bringing us
universe.
together.
So, Rachel's been with me for 4 or 5 months?
I think it's been 4 or 5 months, yeah.
4 or 5 months. So she completely and totally handles my Instagram account right now. So if you are enjoying what you're seeing, that is all her. And what I've loved, so when I was doing Instagram, I haven't even told you this yet. When I was doing Instagram for myself, I would post whatever my recent thing was, and I would do it waiting for an appointment because that's when I had time. And that's not a strategy, that's just a default. So now Rachel has full access to my photo library, and you go in and she just looks at everything. And so I look at my Instagram account and I'm like, oh my gosh, it looks so cool. It looked I'm doing a lot of stuff all the time, but you make it so diverse. And I really feel when I'm looking at my Instagram, it's an experience because you show off every single sector of what I'm doing. And I was just when I was doing it, I was just kind of throwing it up there. Mom/Michelle Book has a question. If I did only one thing with social media, what would it be? Ooh, I like that.
Okay, so I'm gonna take this a few different ways, Michelle. I'm assuming you're kind of asking what platform you should be on. And for a nonprofit that you run, I would say Facebook is gonna be your #1 thing. A, because it's easiest to track that ROI, seeing what you're getting back from it. And B, it's probably where most of your audience is on.
Absolutely.
We're finding with Facebook that it's that 45, 50 plus generation that's spending more and more time, probably where a lot of your donors are, volunteers are.
Exactly.
And so that's where you want to spend time is Facebook.
Love it. Yay, good question, Mom. I want to talk a little bit about the services that Rachel offers because I'm still learning all of the things that she's capable of doing. So for me, she's handling my social media. So that's currently all my Instagram. We're working on a way to get her handling more of my Facebook, but as you guys all know, I'm very verbose on Facebook.
It's a process.
It's a process. So, and I want to keep writing about each and every one of you. So I can't let go, guys. I can't let go. So, but we are in the works in I'm going to start a blog because I have her support. And I am going to be starting a newsletter because I have her support. So all of these things are in the works. So that's one of the things you're helping me with. Along with she does things create marketing deadlines for me because as a small business owner, I have priorities all of the time. Like I mostly shooting and making sure that my clients are super, super happy with what they're getting. So things like writing for a blog just doesn't seem to get up there. So telling her, or her telling me that like, hey, on Monday, I need 500 words on this subject. I'm like, okay, let me get all academic on you. So anyway, that is one service she particularly offers me, but there are other things. And let's see, what does Tom Woody say? What's your favorite part about using social media? Is that for me or for Rachel or for both of us? We'll go both. Rachel, you start.
So I love it from a business standpoint that it's inexpensive to use. As Whitney was saying, she had no marketing budget. And so many of my clients are these small business owners who are like, I have maybe $500 budgeted for the year for marketing, and Facebook, you can essentially do it for free or spend $5, $10 a month on marketing and get a huge return from that. So that's my favorite part of social media, is it's allowing these like underdogs to get the big play.
I love that. And that's exactly how I don't think I could have worded it as well as you, but that's exactly how Facebook made me feel, that like I was able to share what I was doing and it didn't cost me any money, and people were engaging naturally because they were interested. Like I'm super lucky that I get to photograph awesome people, so like I don't really think it's all me. It's like my awesome clients like kind of help that out. But it was just an easy platform.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you offer a couple different services, so tell me about those.
Yeah, so the first one Whitney kind of went into is that recurring social media management. So I create a weekly editorial calendar for all my clients that I lay out exactly what the post content is, the images, tags, links, etc.
It's like extensive. And after a while I was like, so you know what you're doing. I think we're good. Like you just do it. You just handle it.
And that's the really beautiful thing is Whitney kind of lets me have like full control. She trusts me. She, watched me work. So she just says like, do it all. And some of my other clients say, like I want to have a little bit more editorial control. I want to have a little bit more decision making, and I'm fine with that as well. I really like it to be a two-way street. I'm not here to say, Whitney, your brand needs to change or your business plan. Like I'm just here to really complement what's already been set up. And then along with that monthly services, I create ads for you, and I give you a monthly strategy overview. So
I love it. I get an email. I feel like I get one a lot though. It's not monthly, is it?
So the bulkier one is a monthly thing.
Oh yeah, so I get this like huge email, and then I get like little weekly updates, and I love it because I'm not gonna go in and check that stuff. Let's be real. Like I'm just like, okay, I did stuff this week. And you just break it all down.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I was successful. That's great.
So, looking at what kind of content is performing well, what your followers are doing, any trends that I'm seeing on your page, and then kind of break that down into how does that relate to the goals that we've talked about. So, like for Whitney, when I first started, one of her goals was weddings, because it's wedding season, and I'm so happy. So now that we're kind of transitioning out of that wedding season, how can we move her social media to a new business goal that she wants to achieve?
New goals.
So always looking at that, and also social is changing constantly, which is also what I love about it. It's this ever-changing puzzle and algorithm. So I'm always making sure to stay up to date on that and keeping my clients in the know, or at least letting them know this is how I'm changing your strategy to fit with Facebook's new algorithm.
So Rachel was the person who told me to start posting a photo with my Wednesdays with Whitney. Like the first couple times I did it, I was just like, hey, join me here. And she was like, hey, if you add a photo to that, because you're a photographer and you should do that anyway. I mean, she said it way nicer than that. But she's like, if you add a photo to that, people will actually like read it and engage, and like they'll just get excited. And then that happened. Like the second I started posting photos with my Wednesdays with Whitney announcement, like so many more people were engaged and we got more people watching. So just that like little push to like do something a little bit more and it didn't take me a ton of extra work. I'm doing it anyway. And then, yeah. I love things like that.
So yeah, and again, that's my goal, is to not come in and create a huge amount of work for you as a business person.
Right.
I may make these suggestions or tweaks, but ultimately you've hired me to take some things off of your
To make
plate,
my life
to make your life
easier.
easier. So that's not my goal to stress you out and have you change everything that you're doing.
Not at all. So you also offer one other service.
Yeah, so I do one-on-one social media tutorials. I actually just did this for one of Whitney's
My
good
Natalie.
friends.
Hi, Natalie.
Hi, Natalie. And so this is a 3-hour one-on-one session with Natalie. I did it over FaceTime because she's in New York. I could have flown there, I guess. I don't know if that was in the budget. Or, you know, meet at a coffee shop, do it face-to-face. And I go through all of your social media profiles and do an audit and say, this is what you're doing well, this is what you could work on, and these are the best practices that really apply to your industry and your brand, and this is how I think you should employ them. And then we also talk a little bit about paid advertising, because that can be really scary.
Yes.
It's kind of this weird world, but I promise it's a lot easier once you break it down. And so that 3 hours is just really social media intensive, of like, I give you this Bible essentially that you take away and say, you know, this is what I learned, and of course I'm always there for follow-up questions, and it tends to be a really great way to give you the tools to utilize it. And it's a lot of times it's not like a one-person company. Like Natalie has a team,
Right.
and so she had her entire team sit on, and her marketing intern is like, all right, have this, I can do it now.
I'm gonna see if I can look at this photo. Or sorry, I see a question from Noah, but it like kind of went away. How can you optimize your social media content and or online presence so that your business displays higher on search engines?
Ooh.
So she's also helping me out with this. I can't see the rest of your question, Noah, so I'll try
I
my best.
think we kind of got the gist. So
Yeah.
SEO and social media are very closely tied together.
And I know I opt out of SEO, so I'm just like, so you handle that, you do that.
Yeah. So a key thing to keep in mind, especially if you're a business like Whitney, she has like 100 and some really great reviews on Facebook. And that's really important to ask people for positive reviews and positive feedback. Build that into your workflow, because that's going to help boost your SEO. That's one of the things that Google is looking at.
that?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, or like for you, like the Knot or any of the Wedding Wire.
I should probably get on that.
Add it to the list. Those kind of things are really helpful to get positive reviews on, because Google's looking at that, and Google's saying, wow, people are talking about Whitney and Ivory House photography. And then also just posting on a frequent basis, because when someone searches Ivory House photography, probably first what pulls up, or wedding photographer Des Moines, first what pulls up is Whitney's website, but then second is probably her Facebook or Instagram page. And if they pull it up and see that Whitney isn't posting a lot, probably she's not looking legit. They're really wondering.
I always look legit.
Right. Is she in business?
Right.
What's she doing? So making sure that you're kind of keeping frequently.
Ooh, Carla, good question. What brands do you follow on social right now because you admire their work and think they're doing awesome things? I'm gonna let you take this one.
So I'm a big fitness junkie. I'm a runner, although Whitney knows I've been injured more often than not.
You're gonna get back there.
Yeah, so I follow a lot of fitness brands, and one that I really love is Oiselle. It's Oiselle. And they're this women-owned business, and they really focus on women empowerment and women positivity and this women first, which is really trendy right now, but they've been doing it before it was cool. Before it was cool to, support women. So, and within that, they tie in their product. So it's like they have these beautiful stories for every single product. And all of these pro runners, like, they're not just selling things, they really empower me to be like, wow, I love that female runner. Yeah. I'm really awesome.
Especially when you're adding being able to add value without asking for something in return, being able to really like create that content that like, again, like empowers you or makes you feel special or makes you feel like you can do something.
Yeah.
Like any social account that does that, I'm in.
It's not just about selling things, it's also about like giving people something for free that's really valuable and it goes with your mission. What about you?
I happen to love a site called, or an Instagram account called Artifact Uprising. They're a consumer printer, so I use a very special printer that only us photogs can use. But Artifact Uprising does an amazing job of providing really wonderful print products for photography. So what I love is I get a weekly newsletter from them that makes me cry more often than not, because it's just so impactful. Because for me, reading about photos and reading the story behind the photos, or even just seeing these amazing moments that have been created, of course my favorite thing is going to be another photo place.
Right.
But I just love that added value that, yes, they are selling products. It happens to be a product that I am already completely sold on, even if they weren't adding in all of this extra content and value.
Yeah.
They're actually, I'm going to send you their newsletter because I love it.
Perfect.
Because when I do a newsletter, I want it to be awesome. But when I read their newsletter, I'm like, oh, that was a good use of my time. That was excellent.
And that's key, you know, because like social media can be seen as a time suck or a time waster, but when you land on those things where you find like, you're like, oh, I need to see more on their account, or oh, I want to click over to their website because this story is beautiful. That is so key, and it goes back to creating that marriage of words and image and providing really valuable content.
Well, and I think that's the really hard part. That it's not the really hard part, but it's the part that I try to focus on that is a little bit outside of what I do. So yes, I'm a photographer. Yes, I'm delivering images, but how do I add value above and beyond photographing people? So if I can find a way to educate or share or teach, that's actually how Wednesdays with Whitney came about, because there were so many questions and I found like I had beautiful access to people who had answers. So the fact that you're here today and we're having this conversation and hopefully adding value and answering some of those questions is like part of like my mission to add value.
Right, and it's, you know, like this isn't directly photography related, but
no, but I need you.
But clearly, you know, people care and it's important because you're getting this interaction and people are asking questions, and you really honed in on creating a value that doesn't necessarily tie directly into your business, but it's giving you this authoritative look. Yeah, she's an authority.
I think I missed Tom's question, but we'll make sure to.
It was yes. What platform do I like to promote businesses, or what social channel do I like to promote businesses? And that's not like an easy cut or dry answer. I think it really depends on what your business and what your industry is. We're seeing these shifting social trends with what age group and what audience is on each social media platform.
Snap the chat?
I do it personally, not as much.
I'm scared of the Snapchat.
The Snapchat. And that's kind of the uprising one for the millennials, the cool kids.
Yeah.
Is cool. Snapchat is like, hey, we have this really captive audience. We need to make this business worthy. So that's why you see those stories from like Refinery29, BuzzFeed. You can get your news now. They just have this new feature where if you like snap a photo, Ivory House Photography, and you tag the location, then you can pull up like reviews of restaurants around that area and stuff like that. So you're making it a more comprehensive
Now
app.
You're telling me I should be on Snapchat.
We'll add it to the list, another thing. So yeah, we're seeing these shifting social trends, and so it kind of depends on what brand I'm working with. For Whitney, I would say my favorite is Facebook, because again, it allows that marriage of words and image, and you've done a lot with it already. You've built this very, very solid base.
And that's what felt most natural to me. I was also a late adopter of Instagram personally. So like Instagram was never, which I know sounds weird from a photographer, but it was never my natural way to communicate. I always loved like the album feature on Facebook. It was something I used even when I was in college. Don't go back that far on my Facebook page, by the way. But that's just what felt most natural. And then when I'm looking at other ways to reach my audience, I like anything that is really writing based because I like to communicate that way. So blogging for me is kind of the next step. And writing the newsletter, because I get so many like questions when I'm out and about, like, I want to hear more about this, and I'm like, like I should probably fix this. I'm not telling enough, but so new adventures. But I think we kind of did.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Awesome. We've had such great questions. Well, if anybody else has any questions, we're more than happy to take them. But I do want to say that Rachel, let's talk. We didn't talk about her background in social media. Let's go back there really quick. If anybody has any questions, do that right now.
So I've actually been doing this in my own business for 1 month.
1 month, ladies and gentlemen. So this is her first month in business.
Yeah.
She and I have been working together for much longer than that, because I was like, I need you now.
So social media has been my background my whole entire career. I started out with doing niche social media. My first job was at a quilting magazine doing their social media, so I also know how to quilt.
So many talents, so little time.
And then expanded from there. And so essentially it got to the point where I was picking up these freelance clients, but I also had a separate full-time job. And thanks to Whitney and a lot of people that I met through Fem City Des Moines, I kind of got empowered to take the leap and start my own business. So thank you.
Here I am, just pushing people off the ledge.
Right,
Go.
It's really scary. And I was like, I don't think I have the wherewithal to do this.
I just knew that if she did, like, she had done already such an amazing job for me, and I was like, okay, so many other people need this, and you should make yourself available.
Yeah. So I took the leap, and within the first month, I've picked up 5 new freelance clients, which is huge. And simply because I have the time now and I have the capability to really give my
And these
all.
are people that have been beating down her door for the previous months, that she's like, I have a job, and now she's like, I don't. I have this job. I can serve you.
Yeah, so come at me.
Yes, she's ready.
Yes, so no, I still have space for more, and I'm really excited to get into different industries. I have a variety of industries that I'm working with right now.
Tell me a little bit about how you cross. So, like, you're working with photography with me, but you have a caterer, so Sid's Catering.
Sid, yes.
Hi, Sid. We
Hello,
saw you
Sid.
yesterday.
So another reason why I love doing this is because I work in so many different industries that, frankly, when I start out, I'm like, I didn't know about catering, I don't know about photography, but I get to learn so much by simply just dealing with your social media. So one of my first ever clients was a triathlon bike company. I'm a runner, but I'm not a triathlete, and so just by being there, kind of interacting with them, I picked up the terminology, the terms, and now I feel like I'm a triathlon pro. Like, I'm not, I've never done a triathlon, but I can talk about that for days and days. And so I love being able to work with different industries, and somehow they all seem to interconnect though. Like Whitney and Sid, like Whitney took these beautiful photographs for Sid, and they're so gorgeous.
I know, and her food is beautiful, and she's beautiful. Sid will tag you in this so you can hear us raving about you.
So now I can use those photos that you took on Sid's page, or it seems through Fem City, so many of my clients have connected as well through these really great ways. So it really doesn't matter the industry. I'm here to learn about it. I'm here to pick it up, and it excites me. I'm always up for the challenge, and I feel like my head's just like expanding the knowledge of
keep happening. As a business owner, there's just this like, oh, that's happening. Sometimes it's painful, sometimes it's a relief. So anyway, Rachel, thank you so much for saving my life on the daily, and then also being here today. And if you want to reach out to Miss Rachel, please tell us how we can find you.
Yeah, you can email me or find me on my website. My website is rachelpetersonsocial.com, or you can email me at rachel@rachelpetersonsocial.com.
So those are 2 ways to contact her. You can also message me and be like, that girl that was on your Facebook and she's awesome. How do I get in touch with her? And I will be happy to send you over. So thank you all for watching, and we will see you again next week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.